Is a video instruction on how to make your circle follow a particular path. So I started by creating a path, and that's what you see here in red. So I have the line y equals x between 0 and 3, the horizontal line y equals 3 between 3 and 8, the line with a downward slope, negative 3/4 x plus 9 between 8 and 12, and then I decided to make a parabolic shape, x minus 12 squared between 12 and 10. So the first thing I did then was I put in a slider. So I set my slider to go for 20 seconds. I started with my first circle here. So if we look at my first circle, I wanted it to move on the line with slope equal to 1. So you can see that's what it does. It moves up here. So I just did x minus t squared plus y minus t squared. That's moving the center of my circle along the line tt, so slope 1, so along the line y equals x. Now, when I got to the top of the line, you can see I changed my colors. Okay, now I want my circle to start here and move horizontally. So the first thing that I need to do then, this is circle, let's move my circle so we can see which circle it is, circle D here. So notice my center is at 3, 3. So I started with I wanted to have x minus 3 squared and y minus 3 squared. Now the y position's not changing, so it's just going to stay at y minus 3 squared. That lifts the y coordinate up 3. But I wanted the x to change with t. But I wanted it to continue right off. So I've already gone for 3 seconds, but I want my other one to appear right here. So I have to convince my t here that we're really at 0. Since I'm really at 3 seconds, then what I put in parentheses here was t minus 3. Okay, so I've got t minus 3 is what I really want to have happen here. Okay, and then for it to go across. So we see as we do that, it's moving all the way across. Don't mind that little A point. I was using that for some reference here. Okay, till I get to the point 8, 3. And now if you can see, I'm going to switch over to my blue circle, E. So E, I want my circle to think that its center is 8, 3. So I've got x minus 8 and y minus 3. I want the slope to be 3/4. So the change in y is 3, the change in 4 is x. So I needed a 4 here and a 3 here. Again, I'm 8 seconds in, but I just want this circle to start now. So I want it to think that this is the 0 time for t. So I did t minus 8 and t minus 8 inside of here. So now what happens is my circle goes down. Okay? Now notice something, I didn't say this before, but when I set my object properties, this first circle I only want to show up for the first 3 seconds. My second circle I want to show up between 3 and 8. My next circle, because I'm going down a line with a slope of 3/4, I'm moving faster. So I noticed that I hit the bottom here just after 1 second. All right? So that gave me t was equal to 9. Okay? And now this circle is going to be for t greater than or equal to 9. Now this one I decided I wanted it to move along the parabola. Okay? So how did I do that? Well, I let x, I wanted it to start with the center at 12, 0. So I have x minus 12, like if I were just making a stationary circle. And then I wanted it to move just as t. Again, I'm at 9 seconds now, but I want my circle to think that this is the starting point. So I need to do t minus 9. So it's going to start here when t gets to 9 seconds. Okay, it's going to act like the starting point. So I put a t minus 9 in here. Now my y, I want to move like the parabola. So I did y minus, again, I want my t to think that like the 0 time I'm at 9 seconds, but I want to think that 9 seconds is where it starts. So I have t minus 9. Then since I wanted to move along the parabola y squared, I have t minus 9 squared equals 2. So again, if we start from the beginning, we see the red circle to the purple circle to the blue circle to the green circle that moves like the parabola. All right? So go through and just click on each of these equations. Run through my slider so you can see where the time is changing, and go in and investigate each of these equations.